Yeah, it's actually a big issue right now, and one of the reason of our podcast is promote construction and talk about construction is actually get people inspired and into construction and into trade work, because it's actually, if we're gonna keep going at the same speed, like we're gonna have issues pretty soon, because everybody wants to make like these cool YouTube videos and, oh, I'm gonna do this, all the new stuff, but nobody wants to do the real work, that
Yeah.
that builds cities. And that's the construction behind it, the trade. We're not going to have robots or anyone coming in pretty soon here and trying to help us out with that. So we're going to have to carry the burden for quite some time. And I don't think the new generation is not very activated with construction is not a good thing.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the CM Mentors podcast. My name is Matt Graves. My co-host each week is Kyle Grandell. Kyle, I didn't screw it up this week. First week in 34. How are you, man?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It's actually throwing me off now. I'm not really sure how to react. I was going to ask you a question. I totally forgot now.
You are already going to start. You were already going to start chirping me on the screw up, and I threw you off since I didn't give you the opportunity. So,
no, it really wasn't fair. But actually, I just remembered the question. Share a story from the week.
A story from the week.
Not a question, by the way.
Okay, I got one. So not really work related. It's newsletter related. I had Tats Naka. I'm not sure his name. Tats Nakagawa. He does the certified or specified growth podcast. Anyway, he's been a big supporter of everything I've been doing, and he threw down a challenge a while back that once I hit 2,000 subscribers, I was coming on his podcast. But I got a phone call this week from the guy who runs this podcast, and they want to get me on early. So I'm a fraud. I'm going on before I get to 2,000. So anyway, that's exciting.
Nice.
What about yourself?
Maybe it'll be that last one to get you there.
I'm going to make a big push. I'm going to use this as a marketing ploy. Like, hey, don't let me be a fraud. Go subscribe now.
No, just short story for me. I was on a site this week for get some deliveries, some sea containers from Italy. Actually, they came in, went to the port, came to the site. Just a little tip for everybody: just track your stuff very carefully. Any listeners that are in construction getting deliveries, the shippers, the brokers, you don't always know what's going on. Our containers showed up in the wrong order, different days. A 1 day delivery ended up being 2 days. So also be flexible. Just want to share that with everybody.
Anytime you're ever getting deliveries, it never seems like anything happens the right way. So flexibility is always key. I hate to say that, but no matter what you say, it's always overseas.
Wrong. Yeah, especially overseas with ports and brokers and all that. They're great, love them, but they're a mess most of the time. So, anyways.
Well, we'll roll in introducing our guest. This week, we've got Pircon Group. We've got Adeel and Kevin. Welcome, guys. How are y'all?
Welcome.
Good. How are you doing?
Good, man. I was going to give you an introduction of yourself, but before we do that, why don't you tell us a story this week? We'll put you on the
spot. Story for the week. It's all the same, man. It's just a lot of hard work, a lot of surprises. So I was hearing you guys about your delay, so that's something we deal with all the time. And yeah, it's kind of routine. It's already expected. We have people saying it's going to be done in 2 weeks. When it comes to design, drawings, even construction work, we know it's not going to be done until 3 or 4 weeks. So always leave room in your schedule so you don't have to be disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Yes, always. Nothing ever, especially right now, post-COVID. I mean, I'm sure you guys are feeling it. You guys are up in Canada, right? So I'm sure you're feeling the same way on the States. It's like nothing is ever showing up when it's supposed to show up.
Oh, yeah.
They tell you it's going to be there in 3 months, and you just say, yeah, okay, we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're involved with getting permits, approvals on new projects, and even just like we can actually handle our team and like subtrades pretty good. And we can control them, and worst case scenario, we can say, okay, you're fired and we're got someone else. But you can't do that with the city or like the city inspectors, right? City can't even do that with their own stuff. They will mess up our stuff, and we have every single project to mess it up. And we're like, even we were to complain someone, the guy's like, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. So That's and you know what? We have a project going on right now, and we're paying a huge cost, a year delay in a project just because of mess up with the city. So we know all about it.
Man. Well, I skipped over the introduction. So you guys want to give us a little introduction of who Pircon is and who you guys are?
Yeah, so Pircon Group is actually a group of companies. Started as as a construction company, then design and consulting. I have a really, long real estate kind of background. After high school, I was in became a realtor, and that's how I ended up in construction. So we actually have a real estate wing as well, and then we also have a small property management wing. But mainly, our bread and butter majority of work is design and construction.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all have a specialty? Because we want to bring you on and really talk about, kind of how to be successful in commercial construction in general. Right. Commercial construction means a million things, right? You could be building a strip center, you could be building a massive hospital, right? And those are kind of both commercial construction, So, do y'all have a specialty y'all really concentrate in?
So, I mean, we started as actually working in retail and leasehold improvement, so mainly building retail and light construction, commercial construction. So, um, uh, restaurants and daycare and medical clinics and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
To now we're building, a commercial multifamily. So we do a variety of different things, but majority of our commercial side is dedicated towards working on the retail end of the things. However, we are growing and expanding into actually build out commercial build outs and multifamily build outs as well.
Yeah. So right now, looking at restaurants, doctors' offices, spas, salons. Yeah.
I got you. Was it the economy thing that helped you push you to be more diversified or to do other things, or was it just trying to diversify your portfolio? Or?
I think that was the plan to begin with when Percon came in inception. That was the plan. But obviously, COVID, I think it helped to kind of to make it faster. I would definitely say we were doing a lot of franchise before COVID, and because of COVID, it slowed things down. And then we were able to concentrate more on the real estate end of the things, hence like the multifamily construction and things like that.
I got you.
So which areas of that do you guys self-perform as far as on the design side, but also on the construction side? Which parts do your companies actually do themselves?
So design is all in house. Even though we do outsource, all the professionals, like for smaller projects, it's all in house. For bigger projects, some in house, and then majority all the professionals involved from the outside. Um, and for construction, obviously the construction management and project management. We do very little actually in house. Like we have the supporting team sort of in house to finish the task, but all mostly subtraded
Okay.
work. And the reason being is it's simple because you want to hire the experts. You want to hire the people who know what they're doing. So not all work is same. We have different categories and ratings of subtrades, that we use. So on a bigger project, we will have to use another one than compared to the other one, and then they have different materials and staff and ability to perform work and timings of performing work. So it gives us a lot of freedom in terms of getting the projects done. Whereas if we had kind of in-house, then they're kind of set unless we had people trained and prepared for working in all different environments. It makes it very tough.
Definitely.
What are you guys mostly doing? You mentioned design. You're doing a lot of design build stuff, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You finding y'all do all design build, or are you finding a difference? I guess for people who don't know really maybe the difference in design build and kind of design bid build, you kind of want to maybe kind of explain that a little bit for people. And do you find the differences? Like, what's y'all's, I guess, favorite? Maybe if I say that.
You know what? We do majority our retail work, retail commercial work is design and build. Um, and actually, the reason why we started designing is because we were building once we first started, we were only building. Even though I had done some work around designing and things like that, so I had the experience. But we were just being a GC and concentrating on that. And then we're building. We got this one franchise, and they needed to turn over their places really quick. And they had this lazy designer who we could never get a hold of, and is out there in Montreal speaking different language. It's just like they give us a drawing, it's all in French, and then we're asked for drawings in English, so they just simply went on Google and tried to transfer stuff, and it just came out all wrong. So and we have like the project starting, and then the client basically said, here's my designer, here's the keys, here's the landlord, just I want to get it done. And now we're on the hook just to kind of get it done for them, but we can't. So we decided that we're going to do the design just ourselves, and it needed to be kind of converted where we are in the city. So I did that myself, kind of in-house the first time, and I didn't even have proper tools. So I started designing, and I got the permits. And after that, we told the client, said, if you want more projects done through us, we got to do the design. We cannot have your designers work on it. So from there, it kind of started on, and then now we have this feature where we can design and do the permits and applications, and then all the drawing stuff, and have the all the engineers involved too. So we're like, okay, great. This is another way of kind of helping our clients. And now it's actually the same thing. Some of our clients will come to us and say, oh, we want construction done, we have design, and if it's possible and we have an ability, we won't charge you for design. Let us design it and get it done. And it's the same reason, because we don't know who their designer is, and especially in the beginning, if we see there is issues with the designer, it's like red flag. We tell them, like, maybe you want to stop it now, because when we have it in-house, then we have a full control. We can see everything, we can actually understand the drawings, and our subtrades can understand the drawings and actually build what needs to be built. Not all designers are like that. I'm not saying, like, we basically tell all clients like that, but some designers that they may find, especially on a very small projects, it just doesn't turn out good, because they're trying to get it done for like a real cheap cost, and that guy who's doing the work is probably not even putting the right information because of that.
Gotcha. What size projects do y'all typically doing, and what size projects do you see fit better for that design build model for you guys?
I would say anything under like $500,000 is a good approach for us to just kind of do it in-house. Anything more than that, architectural end, we can still cover that, but then you really got to have professionals like structural, electrical, mechanical, and have their full involvement in the project, and have them issue schedules and confirm and conform work. So yeah, anything under $500,000 is something we recommend that they go through us.
I gotcha.
Do you guys usually stick to a certain like geographical area, or are you doing work all over, or what does it look like for you right now?
Mainly Western Canada. That's where we focus on. So like the Alberta, British Columbia, and Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So and then we do look at projects like in Ontario, like in Toronto market. Um, and we have done actually projects, design and build projects in USA, so in Arizona, and we actually are planning on having some projects there, because it's kind of stopped. It was because we were doing a lot there, COVID, and then whole COVID thing happened, and the whole scenario, traveling and all that stuff. So we didn't really put our efforts into the market after that, but now we're re-looking at it, the whole thing.
So I was gonna say, so I got to ask, I'm fairly active on LinkedIn, and I connected with kind of Kevin, kind of set this up, and a lot of other people. There's a pretty good construction community of Canadians on LinkedIn, and I'll get people asking me advice, and sometimes I'm wondering, like, man, am I leading them astray? Because am I thinking like my American USA construction brain versus is it? If you guys have worked in both, is there a difference between kind of how things are done in Canada versus the United States, or like a lot of
No.
similarities or differences or anything like that?
Nope, not much. Honestly, it's pretty much the same. One thing you guys would have differently, you guys have state and then municipality and the county, and sometimes you get a approval from all three for the same thing. But it's pretty much the same. Honestly, it's America, Canada. It's the same thing. We travel a lot. Maybe you don't get to come to Canada that much. We go to USA a lot. Canadians travel more than American to USA, vice versa, other than like American coming to Canada. That happens a lot. So honestly, I've driven to USA and crossed the border, and even when if I was taking a nap, and I cross the border, I wouldn't even know what country I'm in, because like everything is the same. The roads are same, everything, the houses are same, like your bylaws are the same, the building codes are pretty much the same. We stole everything from you guys anyway. So it's
Except
so it,
y'all, I mean, we're building feet and inches. Y'all building in meters or
yeah,
millimeters?
we deal with feet stuff where dealing with the
Yeah.
feet stuff. The only place where heavy construction and we use meters, so it's all metric. When you're putting pipes underground and bridge construction and things like that, because you got to go in millimeters. But with residential construction and light commercial is all uh, you know in feet and inches, and all the lumber stuff is in 3/4, 4/4, all American stuff. So
I got you. I did a big project. It was like one of the first big projects I did, and it was a big federal project. And the entire plan set was in metric. And so, like all the details, you're looking at the details, and it was like 1,000 millimeters. I'm like, I have no clue what that means. Like, I don't even. Is that like a foot, or is that everything? I kept having to convert it all, and like I realized, I think it was like 50 millimeters was like 2 inches, and that's because there's a lot of that sort of thing. And but like,
one good thing that it actually, so if you go to school here in Canada for engineering, you have to learn both. So you have to learn the metric system and the imperial. So you have to learn both. And you got to have the understanding, and you have exams and the switch things, and like, so we just know off the hand like the conversion rates is like because we're dealing with it all the time.
that's funny. Yeah, I remember just looking at that and just being completely clueless, like everything. And then I mean, I was a young project engineer at the time, and I had learned a metric system in college, not to that degree, right? But like you kind of learn what a meter is, a millimeter,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. But you give it to the redneck field guys in the field, and they're just completely lost. Like they have no clue. They don't even want to know. Like, what are we building? Like, damn, that was a fun time. I remember having to convert like all the details form and right next to them, like this equals 2 inches, this equals 3.5 feet. Like, like
Nice.
Yeah.
Conversion.
Yeah. We have to convert all the time, pretty much in everything. So when we're dealing with dirt, it's cubic meters, and if we're dealing with like concrete, then it's cubic feet. It's just like, oh god, and that's how the prices are given from our suppliers and subtrades. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to take a quick break from the conversation. Oh, go ahead. I was going to interrupt with a meme game, but go for it, Kyle.
Question first before I forget, because I'm very curious for my own business. What did you guys experience when you wanted to start working internationally? Crossing over the border, working in the U.S. Did you guys have any issues? What was it like to get kind of the licensing and all that stuff in place?
It's honestly, it's like going to another city in Canada. Like, and we have worked in different cities in Canada, so like Vancouver and Burnaby, like and Edmonton. Here we like multiple cities, Saskatchewan. So it's like what I would do to go to another city in another province. So call the city department and see what are the licensing requirements and what they need. And often if you have the established company and you have all those things, that just helps out, and the process is pretty easy. I don't like, we haven't worked in all the states. I know some states are different compared to the others, and some are new and some are old. So things kind of change because of that. I think majority of that. So if you're, let's say, working in Phoenix, Arizona, as compared to Scottsdale, Arizona, the city handling might be different. Phoenix is a main city, so the city staff, I would probably find them less proactive and less paying attention to your stuff, and gonna have more mess up than a smaller city that has a small city hall. And actually you can just walk in there and make a relationship with those people, and and get your stuff done. So it's all the same at the end of the day, other than just dealing with a big metro versus a smaller metro.
Yeah. Okay.
I figured it'd be a little trickier coming in, an international business coming in the United States, but I guess maybe you just get set up with your federal tax stuff, get an EIN number, and
Yeah, exactly. So you would just register, and like I said, if you have a business already, if you have, so your firm in USA and you got a project, and what happened, actually, our client took us there. So that's how we kind of got in the market to begin with. They're like, we need help there and we don't know what we're doing. So we're like, okay, yeah, we'll help you out. So they actually helped us kind of setting it up too. And they already had lawyers and right people there. So we just kind of, um, just kind of like piggyback on it, and it's like, okay, yeah, how we can. But it wasn't that difficult. It's like, honestly, the process is pretty much similar, unless you get into, now I'm talking about this light construction. So if you're getting into bigger stuff, you're building a multifamily or building a big commercial space, then things obviously will be different. Like you would need bonding and insurances. Even though we had to get insurance too, but you need those extra coverages and things like that, which obviously is going to be harder. But again, it's all possible given if you already are established in one place.
Cool.
I'm sure too, your local insurance company can help you navigate the waters. Or at least they know a resource they can get you set up. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, Adeel loves working in the States. This guy, he's excited about going back. So.
Yeah. No, there is something about USA I love, and I don't know. I've been going there ever since I had an ability. I was making money. I was like, my first trip was like, okay, Florida. I'm gonna explore, and yeah, I love USA. Not every state is the same, and not every place is the same, but I love the diversity and how within being in one country you could feel you're in a different place, different kind of laws at the same time. State, it's crazy. Yeah,
it is, and it's completely different cultures. It's very diverse, like from area to area. Like Texas is like nothing like New York City, and just
yeah.
So it's meme game time. So what we do is I share a meme, and Kyle has to describe it for everybody who's listening to the podcast and not watching the YouTube video. And so I don't know. We try to find a way to make this fun. I don't know if anybody likes it. I like it. So here we go. And I always try to pick stuff that like picks on Kyle as an electrician. So here we go.
Where's my introduction music here, Matt? I asked for this last time.
You said you were going to sing it. You told me you were going to sing it. You were going to get it made.
I don't know why I said that. I did not ever sing such a thing. Just for everybody's.
I got a screenshot of the text. I'll put in the show notes.
that wasn't for me. All right.
So all the listeners need to leave a comment about how much they want Kyle to sing the intro song, and we get that done.
If we get enough of them, I will do it. For what the number is, I'm not going to say. So,
is it 3? Because me, Adeel, and Kevin will go do it right now.
I can't say, Matt. I wish I could. I just can't, unfortunately.
So can Kyle see the words, or is just the photo?
No, he can see the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. He just has to. So somebody challenged us, because I do a lot of memes in my newsletter and on LinkedIn and all that sort of stuff. So somebody was like, "You got to put a meme in your podcast." And I was like, "How can I do that in an audio podcast?" And we do the video, but nobody watches the YouTube. Everybody listens to the audio. So one day we did it, and I didn't even tell Kyle we're going to do it. I just started this, and I was like, "Kyle, you got to describe this for everybody." Put him on the spot, and now we've been doing it for 15 weeks since.
Nice, yeah, it's something new.
Right on.
And apparently it's the only reason people listen. So, but hey,
We did it
that's-
early this time at the 24-minute mark. Usually I do it at like the 55-minute mark, so people have to listen the whole way through. That's how we get people engaged and interested.
Well, maybe there'll be a second one. People just have to listen and find out. So.
Oh, yeah, yes.
All right. So here we go. Here we go, everybody. So we have this is definitely a stud wall, a wood stud wall. We have a PVC pipe going through it. Could be a vent pipe. Could be something for HVAC. Could be for water. Who knows? It's a pretty sizable pipe. I don't know. Must be 2.5, maybe even 3 inch or so. And lo and behold, there is a piece of yellow Romex going right through the middle of it, from the stud through the middle of the pipe, next stud over to it. And as you would have it, we have our line here is when a plumber and electrician don't get along. Definitely seen many like this before. And the real question is, who was there first? There's no telling.
The plumber, obviously, because otherwise he would have cut the Romex out of the way.
You just want to blame the electrician here.
You would have had a slot cut that pipe and slid it over, and obviously they drilled through and ran it through. So
from this angle, you can't see. There could be a slot in that pipe.
I'm just saying, I spent a lot of time investigating stuff like this in the field, and I'm telling you.
Oh, geez. I hope your bosses are listening to this.
I hope not. They don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right.
So that's the meme game. I saw one the other day it was like a coffee cup sitting on like a blocking in a stud wall, and the Romex ran through the coffee cup, and it says something like, like when moving the trash isn't your job or something like that. It was, I was obviously poking fun at the electrician, but that was a good one. It was a better one.
Everybody's got to pick on us.
So we used to ask, what's y'all's favorite trade? It used to be Kyle's favorite question to ask, and he hasn't done that in a while. So what is y'all's favorite trade?
I know why that's his favorite question.
What's that?
I know why that's his favorite question, because he knows the answer.
Because he has an ego, but anyway.
There's one right answer, folks. One right answer.
Yeah, we always talk about this. It's like, how come we could never find good plumbers and mechanical guys? It's always the freaking electrician guys. Like every single one of them is freaking good. But very rare we have the other ones kind of find the match. Yeah, I actually don't know. Kyle, maybe you want to tell us, like, what's the secret behind the the Sparky being the kind of the best out of all trades?
Well, I'll tell you
loosely, right?
No.
Loosely.
No. Listeners, don't listen to Matt's crap today. So my answer is going to be because we have the hardest job. I mean, electrical, you can't see it, smell it, or taste it. By the time you feel it, it's too late. So we're the most dangerous job. We respect it the most. And it's the hardest thing to do because nobody understands it except for us. And we like it that way.
Yeah, I actually tried to think about that, and my thinking was that it's because you guys have more schooling than you have to go to, to learn codes. You have more reading, more school time than any other trade. So maybe you're disciplined kind of better, or I don't know. Like you have to know math. You have to have some skills on a really good level, and then obviously there's field work, but there is a lot of school, a lot of learning, and reading about electrical stuff. So that could be the reason, but I don't know. I'm just trying to not say one is better than the other. I'm just saying on my personal experience, and I don't know that was the experience for the others too, is that we always have a hard time with mechanical plumbing trades than any other. It's like, why? I actually want to work around that for Pircon to maybe, down the road in future, we want to build like a trade school and have maybe similar things that we could, steal from the electrician guys and put it in there.
In Canada, are y'all finding there's one like obviously there's a trade shortage worldwide. At this point, everyone's heard about it. But are y'all seeing a more of a shortage in a certain trade versus other ones?
It's all trades. Yeah, it's actually a big issue right now, and one of the reason of our podcast is promote construction and talk about construction is actually get people inspired and into construction and into trade work, because it's actually, if we're gonna keep going on the same speed, like we're gonna have issues pretty soon, because everybody wants to make like these cool YouTube videos and, oh, I'm gonna do this, all the new stuff, but nobody wants to do the real work,
Yeah.
that builds cities. And that's the construction behind it, the trade. We're not going to have robots or anyone coming in pretty soon here and trying to help us out with that. So we're going to have to carry the burden for quite some time. And I don't think the new generation is not very activated with construction is not a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I believe a lot of young guys, I think it's because a lot of young men, we don't really want to work in construction. We want to do the e-commerce thing or the online business, the
Amazon.
content creation. And not a lot of us want to go put some boots on and a hard hat and work. But they're out there, but they're very rare.
Yeah, I mean, just
I think that's where we're at. That
maybe I mean, it's definitely a lucrative career, right? I mean, you can put your boots on and go make money today. Doing stuff like making podcasts and that sort of stuff, we've done this long enough. We made like $0.0. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work, and it and it's you see, I think everyone sees the Mr. Beast and those guys making $1 billion, and
Yeah.
they see everybody that's a YouTube star, but like for the one person that's making an actual livable income, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that aren't doing nothing,
Yeah. So, like, people would think, oh, I will have Amazon store, or I'll do like Airbnb, and which is still better, I think, than doing some of these other ridiculous things. But people don't understand that anything you do requires hard work. Like, without that, you're not going to reach it. I come from different industries. Like, I have a immense real estate experience. I got my license back in 2006 in mortgages and real estate, and I've been practicing since then. While I had all different things, I went to school, I had other jobs, I had full-time construction job, and I can speak on that behalf. I have an experience in property management, construction and design. I've been doing it. Anything you want to do right, you have to work hard. When I got the hang of real estate, I'm like, maybe, I graduated, like I'm done. And now I can just start business and do thing and nothing. But if you're doing a startup and you're starting from nothing, there's going to be hard work required. Without that, so sure, if you want to open up an Amazon store, good for you, do that. It's going to require hard work. Without that, you're not going to make those million sales. You're going to have to do constant research, check your data, what is selling, what products, what kind of marketing you have to do, what kind of advertisement you have to do. Like, there's so much research and risks that are involved. It's pretty much anything you would do. You could be a plumber. If you really love plumbing and you just wanted to do Amazon store or some other stuff, and you think you'll be big, no, you won't. Without hard work, it won't come in.
There's been some people that have preached the passive income thing, right? Just send this link and make a YouTube video and put this link in there and you'll be a millionaire. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's some people do make a lot of money. What really fascinates me is how, like, over time, how our bodies are going to be weaker physically. Back in the days when they had in the 40s, 50s, when they were building homes by hand, versus now they have more men working on their computers. Our bodies are going to be strong or weaker. Muscularly, our bones are going to be weaker as well, just because we're doing less physical work. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting how it's going to change. So,
wow, we are going to have a second meme game because I know a meme that relates to this. In the meantime, it's going to take me a minute to find it. So in the meantime, I kind of want to get back on the topic of the conversation of, specifically how can the next generation coming in be successful in commercial construction? I mean, you guys, seemingly you're experts. You've worked in 2 countries and all over the place, and so you got a lot of experience. And like, so what are some things that somebody that's like fresh out of college coming in the industry? What are some things they can do to really set themselves up for success? Specifically in the commercial construction industry. Obviously, commercial and residential are 2 way different animals.
Honestly, I was kind of thinking about that, and I always preach that, and I'll start with that, with number one, and that goes for anyone, for all young people. Who's your friend? Who are you buddies with? Who do you hang out with? That's the number one thing. So anything you want to do, if you don't have the right environment around you, you won't be able to do it. So you're like, hey, I want to be this commercial construction. And then if you have a bum buddy who's, oh man, that's so hard. Don't do it. Don't go there. And they discourage you because you're young. You don't have that. You don't have the track to follow. You're kind of confused. You don't know what you really want. You don't know these things. So you got to try out. And the worst thing could happen to you is somebody is just going to bum you off. It's just going to put you down and not support, rather than saying, yeah, you should try, you should give it some time, or some encouraging words, rather than just, hey, let's find the next lazy thing. If you have friends who are all willing to do something with their life, it makes it a lot easier for you to do anything. If they're all hustling and trying to be something, become something, one is, I don't know, is crazy about sales, and all he wants to do is sales and grow his career. He's taking courses, he's traveling because of that, attending seminars. One is about real estate, and he's learning from some real estate gurus how to do real estate, and he's going big on social media. If you have environment like that where they're all kind of striving to become best, it just makes it a lot easier. And when you're young, you rely on your friends the most, right? Your family, you don't really want to be around them. Your siblings or anyone, right? You just want to hang around with your buddies, your friends. So choose your friends right. That's the number one thing. If you kind of choose the wrong friends, it'll just, even you are this full of motivation and full of talent person, it'll just make your path, longer and harder.
For sure. Yeah, that's actually that's really interesting that you said that, because I'm learning that right now. I'm the youngest guy in the company, and I work with all these older gentlemen here. They're more senior than me. Adeel and Chris are PMs, and there's a lot that I learn. I think environment is very important, because if I think I think Mr. Matt left, but I think with being around people that have more experience, more success, and more lessons, I learn so much more. These guys push me a lot. They teach me a lot of things. They come from a different generation, so I get a lot of feedback that is not always stuff I want to hear. And from the outside eye, it could be like attacking to the ego, but I take this in and I learn so much. And if I just learn to, you know, be quiet when I need to be quiet and study when I need to study and follow these gentlemen as they, show me the way, I know I could be really successful. So that's why environment's super important. Yeah.
Oh, no, great points there. And I mean, the best things that I've learned, both when I was younger coming up, and also on the other side as a leader, the best things I learned are by listening. I mean, listen to others, hear what they're saying, what's the message, why are they saying it when they're saying it. There's so much to be learned just by listening, that being around those right people, to your point, is so critical, because especially younger individuals, they soak it in. They're like sponges. And so if you have the positive reinforcement, all that good stuff, the stuff to really motivate you and keep you going, that's the stuff you want. You don't want the negativity. That can go somewhere else. I don't want negativity.
Yeah, there is enough of that in the world, so you don't need that. You actually have to push yourself to be positive. Like when you wake up, you want to start your day thinking positive. And like negative things are going to happen in life. It's given. And they're going to be there. You just got to be positive and and figure out the solution, not just kind of dwell on the negative stuff, but like, hey, how can I deal with this? I know this has happened. What am I going to do next to make this easier for me? So that's very important. So yeah, just on that list, actually, I just
Interesting.
want to go back to not go off the track. So even though
Yeah.
it's not related to what we're discussing for young people to be in commercial construction, it goes for everybody. I mean, if I couldn't think of anything being young, is that what you really need is the right guidance, right? You need someone to lead you, to direct you in the right area.
Mm.
And if you don't get that, you're gonna get distracted, you're gonna derailed very quickly, very easily, and it becomes it harder to get back. So that's the number one thing, is just and that goes for the parents too. Like, somehow, if we can have our kids raised in a way where they can make their choices their own, have those standards to find the right thriving people to become their friends, rather than just kind of like people aren't really doing much with their life. Number two, I would actually
Interesting.
say, and again, that's not for commercial, just guys, it's just like anyone, whatever you love. Let's say it's commercial construction, let's say it's construction. Find your guru, like find the person you admire the most about around this stuff. So um I don't know. So you're an electrician. I mean, you're an electrical side of the thing. So let's say there is someone who loves electrical engineering, or wants to be electrical, and they just don't know how to start. They don't have the money. Go find the best company, or the best startup, or the best growing company in their area in the city. Approach the owner, approach the upper
Yeah.
management, and offer yourself. Say, hey, I'm young, I love this, I don't know what to do, where to start, but this is on my plate. I have done some similar work. If you have done anything like that, or I have interest in this, or I have these hobbies, or I have this home project, or I fixed my dad's garage, I don't know, whatever you have done, that you've done in that, offer that and say, let me work for you for free. And you
Yeah.
don't have to pay me anything. Let me work here, let me be around you, let me learn. Okay. And give me 3 months, maybe it could be a month, I don't know, you can figure that out based on what you already know. Give me 3 months, I would say, if you don't know much, and let me work. And if you like my work, you can hire me in full time after that. And if you don't like it, you can let me go. And it's because the person who's going to hire you, it's actually you're costing them a lot to teach you. So that's why you have to find the right person. So who's inspire you in the right way, and then offer your services to them. Just ask them, how can I be help to you? What can I do for you? That because it's such a huge learning opportunity for you as a young person. You may think you're getting it for free, but you're not. You go to school and you pay them a lot of money, and then you still don't even learn the right stuff that you learn. Like, I went to engineering school, I learned everything, and when I was really put in the real world, I felt like I didn't know anything, because they never told us about the cost, what are the prices the materials are, how to do negotiation. Like, there's so much steps are missed. It's just the foundation, which is great, but real world requires real things. And if you don't have that, it's going to make it tougher for you. So if you can get something yourself into that, I would just say that. And it could be anything, it could be for anybody. If you want to build apps, and you want to be in computer software engineering, and go work for someone who's doing that, they can get you to your mission, where you want to be in life, faster.
No, absolutely, and it's such a good message there too, because skills are invaluable, and however you get those skills, get them, because that's what employers want to see. They want to see that you know how to make their lives easier in what they do, and guess what? You do that through skills. You do that through experience. So do whatever you got to do, even if you don't get paid for it, as long as you can stand it. Get the skills, get the experience. That's what's going to make you stand out on a resume too, especially if you're competing with other people that don't have any of that. Guess what? I'm going to hire that guy who has the skills versus this person who has the classes. period.
Yeah, exactly. Like nowadays, nobody looks at, what you've done, what courses you have done. Like it's good to do those, but if you don't know anything, if you don't have real skill other than just, I got these degrees and I have all 5 different. I've seen people like that, they have MBAs and they have this and they have that, but they have no real knowledge of the real world.
No experience as well.
Yeah, no experience, so it's not really going in your favor. Get experience under your belt.
Hey,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. That's why, like, I really want to reiterate about for young men, especially young people joining construction. I've already said this earlier. It's just to leave your ego at the door. It's kind of, this is advice that I'm telling myself as well, because I have to check myself whenever I come to the office, and to not, leave the ego at the door and shut up and listen. That's it. So shut up and listen more than you talk, and I think success will come. So that's what the biggest things I've learned in this company.
Matt, did you listen to that last part? Shut up and listen.
I was about to ask a question, but now I'm good. Y'all, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the podcast. I'm sure y'all were way smarter when I was gone than I was.
Welcome back.
So I was gonna ask you a question, but if you already talked about this, just tell me to shut up and listen, and I'll shut up. But you were talking about the skills and that sort of stuff. So, Adeel, I'm sure you're in a hiring position, right? Like you see a lot of resumes coming across your desk. What is something somebody can do to like highlight the skills, right? Because I mean, you can put on there like, I have a civil engineering degree or I have a whatever degree, but like to really highlight like the skills you've built to like stand out, to make your resume pop or something like that. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I would say, other than making your resume pop, you got to make yourself pop. I mean, you could have a really good resume, and nowadays, like you can go chat GPT and all this stuff, and you can make it all look nice. You can go Canva, put some flowers on it. Like you can just do a whole bunch of things. But the real you is what is going to be you, and if you're not good, whether even you're hired, you're just a painful event for you and the company, right? It's because they don't know. They're going to find out. You're going to be exposed pretty soon if you don't know these things. So one is that you really got to know it yourself, what you're saying, and only put what you know, what you're saying, and 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 be open to learn more. It's okay not to know things. It's completely fine to be, I actually say, be dumb and stupid. I try to be dumb and stupid every day, meaning that I don't know and I want to learn. Not for the things that I know that I spend time. That's bad. That means I'm really dumb and stupid. But in terms of like, hey, I'm not a smart guy. I don't know things. So whenever I do something new, I call and I do ask stupid questions. I don't know. 2 years later, I'm looking at it. I can't believe I asked my lawyer this question after me understanding the whole thing. But that's okay. Whatever. I didn't know at that time. And it's okay to ask that question. 2 years later, now I understand everything, and I understand the front and the back and the right and left of this. Great. Because I gave myself 2 years to learn that. But at one point I was zero. I knew nothing. I asked that question. Fine, if it's not a right question, who cares? But I got to learn from it. After I ask it, I got to be able to listen and be able to absorb that and keep it with me, and practice that, whatever I'm learning. That's the biggest thing. So if you don't know something, that's fine. Just say you want to learn that, and what highlight that, and it will show in your personality. Like we're hiring all the time, and when we're hiring, I don't know what that person is going to be. I don't really know. So we actually have a policy: hire fast and fire even faster. So I don't know what this person is. He may look like a great guy and this and that. He got everything, and then next thing you know, they start working, and then within a week, you start seeing things, and it's just not going to work out for you. So you gotta get them in, and if they're not good, you gotta let them out, and it's good for them. It's good. You're not only doing a favor to yourself, you're doing a favor to them, because they need to know, okay, this, if I have this character, if I have this kind of value that I'm bringing in, if it's not good enough, I need to go back and and learn it and gain back. And I always say, you always welcome to come back. Like learn this stuff where you're weak, where we're having issues with you, go correct those issues, work on it. And and you can come back here, and hopefully you have more stuff, and we can pay you higher, and we can treat you better in many other ways. So get more on your under your belt. That's what I would say. Now, on the resume side, what to say? um I say just be real. Highlight the things that are your really focus. Um, to highlight the things, maybe put in bolds. That what you really have, what you're really comfortable with. And if you don't have anything, try to build it up. And that's why I said go work for someone for free. Like if you're not good enough, market will tell you if you're not good enough. It's not like you're not good enough because somebody is. It's a fair market. um that someone have pointing a gun on your head for you not to become good enough. Is you're not good enough because you're doing something wrong or you're not doing something right. You're not. And you got to learn those things. So, and if you're starting with zero, go work for somebody. You will learn few things, and that will give you that push. Maybe it'll give you that extra 2 points on your resume that you can become, that you can make it as a highlight for your resume.
Yeah, I think also like be hungry as well. If you really want the job, follow up, go do the visit, go act hungry for the position as if you're committed to getting that job. And if you really want it, it'll show in your actions. We did make a hire based on because someone sent in the resume, kept following up. He didn't have the experience, but he came to the office. He traveled. He took the bus, and he sacrificed just to get the position. And we gave it to him. He did really good, and we learned a lot. So it's
Yeah.
being hungry is huge.
I've seen it's, you can have all the stuff on your resume, but like it's the being hungry and giving a damn. Those, like, if you don't give a damn, like, I mean, this industry, it's going to eat you up, right? Like there's so much that goes on so fast. And I've worked around a bunch of people in my career, and the ones that just don't give a damn, like, man, they're just a drag to the whole project team. They just, no one relies on them. They just, it's painful for everybody. And so, and then those guys aren't gonna, guys, girls, whatever, they're not going to go anywhere in their career because it's just they don't have it. So
Yeah, a wrong team member can really pull you down, and it's easier to see when a company is small, and it becomes harder and harder as the companies grow. And I'm sure like these huge companies, they have many peoples that are not as good as the other ones, but the majority of your people should be really good. And if you don't have that set up well, it will slow down your growth. It will definitely take you a lot longer to reach to your potential as a company, if you don't have the right people, right kind of environment and culture. And that's what I always talk about. Even for our company, for our core team, I really want that to be A class. I don't want to just deal with average, basically. Even though people of any talent are welcome, like you don't have to be perfectionist, but you have to have the hunger. Like, what? Okay, you're fine, you made that mistake today. What about tomorrow and day after? Are you going to look at it, correct it so it doesn't happen again, or are we going to keep having that? So those are the things that you need to look at as a person as well. And as long as that progression is happening within that person, within the company, it's a good thing. They may not have everything right, but if they can correct the wrongs, if they can make all the wrongs, and there's less of them are happening, that's a good thing.
I've heard Gary Vaynerchuk say that quite a bit. Hire fast, fire faster, and promote fastest.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do in our industry, right? Because you can't promote somebody with no experience to a senior PM position, right? Because there's just a lot of stuff you've got to put in the reps in this industry to learn things. But I think there's ways where you can promote people along the way to keep them motivated and keep them going. The ones that you want to keep on your team, you want to keep motivated, you want to keep, and so, and I think we do have an industry too where there's a kind of the old guard a lot of times thinks like, well, you can't be such and such position without having 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience, where like a lot of people just get it. Like they don't need 10 years of experience, right? They can do 2 years of experience and understand, right? And so I do think promoting people fastest like that, when
100%.
otherwise you're just going to lose your people, So
Yeah. No, there you gotta have something for them. And I'm telling actually, if they are not being promoted faster, so let's say maybe the company is that promotes, but the person is not, and but company can afford the person. I don't think that's a good thing. That person gotta go. If you're sitting in the same chair for the last 2 years or 5 years, is not a good thing for you. Like we're not that big yet that I have so many people, but I do see it at point where we are that big, and I'm just going to pinpoint people that are not being promoted. So I want to check why they're not being promoted. Maybe it's Pircon is not doing something right. And if it's not Pircon, then maybe they got to go because it's not good for themselves. We're not doing a favor to them by encouraging them to being at the same place is a good thing. It's you want to give them the sense that, hey, this is your life and you only get it once. Are you going to be a rock star? Are you going to be a leader of your home? Fine, you're not a leader of some company, but are you a leader of your life? Are you striving for best and better every day? What do you want for yourself? Like, why do you want this mediocre stuff? Because we don't want that kind of environment and culture within the company because it makes it dull. If everybody wants to be the best, even of themselves, even they're very selfish and they're like, I want to be the best guy. I want to get my workout today. I'm going to get this done today. I got to go help out this person. They just have their stuff in order. Just, all I need them just show up in the company and do the work and we're going to be fine. But if you're dull in your life, and I can't expect you to be very sharp at Pircon, it just won't be best thing.
You gonna say something, Kyle?
In here, Matt. I know. Yeah, I see we're almost on at time, so I'll ask my last question here for you guys. But I was just curious. In your commercial space, are you guys seeing resumes, and are you seeing any skills that are particularly lacking that would be good for anybody listening to know? Hey, if they're trying to get their resume boned up a little bit, or maybe work on some personal growth or some professional growth, any skills that you're seeing that need some attention in the industry, in the sector that you guys are in?
Yeah, honestly, I see we have seen a lot of good potential, like good talent here, and a lot of people that I would say I had maybe had to let go, and it was very hard because they're like so talented and so smart and they just get it, and it's mainly because the personal growth, the personal side isn't there. It's that fogginess in the brain. It's they're like good at one thing, but oh, my dad says, or my brother said this, or someone is just poking them. Somewhere they're not getting that boost that they should need, because being good on one thing is not good enough. You need that boost. Like, okay, I have a skill, that's great, but you're going to have those down times. You're going to have those tough hard times that you go through, and if you don't have that boost, it's just it's good for nothing. It's like it's like sitting there as a knife but not doing it. What I see with a lot of young people, they get confused, and especially this day and age with so much information and so many opportunities around you, it's very hard. I was listening to a podcast this morning, he was talking about that back in the days, when our grandfather and our father, when they graduated, they only had a couple of options, like be this, like 3 or 4 options: go work at a factory, be a salesman at a car dealership, or go work at an office or something. But now we have so many options, so it is definitely, it's hard now. It's a lot easier because you have so many options. You can really be who you want. If you like design and drawings, you can get your master in Canva and be something. If you like to drive around, then you can do other things. Like, there's so much to do. There's a requirement for every single thing, and that's where I think it become confusing for people. Is like, what should I really do? This has more money, but this has more interest, so they don't know. And I think that's where the young people need that leadership. And I'll repeat it again, the best way to get that leadership is that find that person and offer them your services. Just, you're young, they're not, nothing's going to hurt you. If you didn't make money for a couple months, trust me, you'll live. You can save up, but go work, because they may not want you to begin with. They may even still say, you know what, no, I don't need anyone. And yeah, just, but that's your sales tactic, for just to make it, makes it harder for them to say no. Like, really, I'm going to say no to a guy who's just want to show up and help me? So just make it impossible for someone to say no. Just work, and you'll learn a few things, and then it makes it easier for you to go to the next level.
Yeah.
We're rolling up around time, so I'm gonna, since we're doing a bonus meme, because even though I got booted off, don't think I forgot. So we're going to extra time for a bonus meme time real quick, because it plays right into what Kevin was saying earlier.
All right, let's do this thing, and then we'll cut them loose.
All right.
Can you even see it?
Okay. So I don't know who these characters are, by the way. Am I supposed to know who these are?
I don't know who they are either.
All right. So we've got so we have some cartoon characters that I can only assume Matt drew up in his spare time. And we have the top one is two of them. One, the guy in the back's kind of looking away, and then the bottom one, the guy's looking at the at the camera, the first person point of view here. And the top says people going to the gym, construction workers looking away, and then the bottom, look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
I saw this and I was like, oh, man, it's like, you know, I was thinking what Kevin was talking about. I've thought about it before. It was like, you know, we used to work hard in our jobs, actually physically work hard. We were, you know, farming, we were building stuff and all that sort of stuff. Now we all sitting at an office at a desk and we're all fat. And like, we actually have to go in our free time and our leisure time and actually go work hard so that we don't get fat. So it's just it's crazy how society's changed anyway.
Yeah, that is true. I love working hard. I used to do carpentry, so concrete formwork. I don't do that now, but I work mainly in the office now. So that's what I really enjoyed in construction, the hard work.
It's easy to get stuck behind your desk and, you know, get just stuck on emails and computer stuff and this and that and everything else. So it's always good when you get out and actually do something. So
yeah. And I've met some really strong guys. They don't even work out, but they're just jacked and like they can just arm wrestle everyone and take someone down easily.
Because they don't work out, but they work 8-10 hours a day. Like, but anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up there. I appreciate you guys from joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you for having us over.
I missed a good chunk of it, but I'm sure it was insightful.
It was the best chunk.
Yeah. I hope you had a good lunch, though.
It was nice. Went for a walk. We'll see you guys. Thanks.
Right on.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, listeners.
Take care. Bye,
See you guys.